Minister, I think the media is waiting.
Yeah, we have a question.
Well, last question here.
The land claims in this area.
My colleague, Minister, has been, been on top of this.
I want to give you that one too. That might help you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thanks for your question.
All right.
Okay,
well,
let's have the meeting.
He was answering. Well, we are prepared to deal with land claims, and we'll do this in an expeditious manner. I know these things have dragged on for years, and if you check out, what the minister's been saying, some of these initiatives, I think we're going to make progress on it.
Well, how about City Hall passing a bill that clearly identifies a certain race of people protecting their land base?
I'm unaware of what City Hall.
Does that go against crimes?
To be honest with you, you'd have to talk to City Hall about any bylaws that they have. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I was going to ask him, do you still take blood from juvenile young offenders? Do you still take blood
You want us to She's working for your times.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I thought you would look familiar.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead? Yeah, go ahead. I think the question has to be re-asked about the land claim issue. It's been going, the negotiations are stalled right now. There's no movement.
I think you're going to see progress, and I'm very confident that the minister has got a handle on this, and we've made that commitment that we will move forward. These things have been stalled for far too long, and I think you're going to see progress. But we have to, we've got to be elected to do that, and we will.
What is his accomplishment?
What about the gun registry? There's obviously still a lot of work to do on that. What needs to be done from your perspective?
Well, we think the long gun registry should be abolished, and it was impossible to get that abolished in the last Parliament when you've got three political parties indicating that they will not let that go forward, or they will defeat it. So again, that's one of the reasons why we're making it very clear in this election. Say we want to know where the other political parties stand on these things. I mean, I think people are very clear that we are prepared to be tough on violent crime, and that we're moving in the right directions. But I asked them where they are. Now, somebody said to me, "Oh, the Liberals are starting to talk about crime." I said, "Jeepers, talking about crime in elections doesn't help us. I want help between elections," and I certainly didn't get that as Justice Minister, nor did my predecessor, Vic Tate. We didn't get that kind of cooperation. So I think some of these tough questions should be directed to them. Say, are you going to support the Conservatives' tough on crime agenda? If not, why not? I want to know from them.
The naming children who are 14 years of age and older who are convicted of, now that's only if they're convicted of violent crimes. What good is that going to do for anybody in the community, really?
I think people have a right to know these things. I mean, this is one of the things I hear from people, that they're uncomfortable with that. They want to know what's happening. They want to know that there's accountability within our system, and I think it's something that's due, and as the Prime Minister indicated, we're prepared to do that.
How is that going to make a teenager more accountable for what they've done by naming them in public and leaving them open to
well, you can ask that. You can ask that. You can ask that of all criminals. Again, that's one of the cornerstones of our system. That there has to be accountability. People have to be responsible for their actions, and whether you're a young person or an adult, if you're committing a serious crime in this country, there are serious consequences. At the same time, I always advocate a balanced approach on these things. We're putting money into programs to assist people. We don't want them to live a life of crime, no matter how old you are, for that matter. And we're prepared to do that, and we have been doing it, and we will continue to do so.
Making their names public help them rehabilitate?
It certainly gets the message to them that they have made a terrible mistake, and it sends out a message to victims as well, and to the general public that these are serious matters that the public have a right to know about, and we've indicated that we will bring forward those.
What about preventing crime? Preventing crime before it happens. So these young people aren't.
I think we do. I indicated in the National Anti-Drug Strategy. You can check it out. 2/3 of the new money for that is for education, working with community groups that help young people. You may have heard or seen our advertising campaign, for instance, with respect to drugs. That we know that this is one of the indicia of people who are getting into trouble, that they get involved with illegal drugs. So we have that education campaign out there, and we're working with groups. groups to make sure that message gets out, that this is not the way to go in life.
I want to go back to the Six Nations land claims issue for a moment. Invariably, after an election, there is a cabinet shuffle. So the chances of Chuck Straw being Minister of the Indian and Northern Affairs after October 14th is probably pretty slim. And then there's a new minister who comes along to try to get things going again. They have to come up to speed with the file and so on. What will the government do to ensure that these land claim negotiations with Six Nations specifically, which is just down the road here, what will the government do to ensure that those get back on track and something
I can't
in the way
speculate.
of progress?
I can't speculate on the Minister of
What's
Indian
your
Affairs.
position,
I think that my government has been prepared to deal with this issue, and we've made that very clear. And my colleague Chuck Straw has made that very clear, and I think he does an outstanding job on behalf of Aboriginal Canadians and on this issue in particular, and my trust is with him. Did you have any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted one more.
Yeah.
You said you were pledging tripling the fund for the youth crime prevention.
Yes.
What does that need to go to? What kind of programming are you investing in?
It's flexible in the sense that we work with community groups. I work with groups in my area that work with at-risk youth groups, and right across this country. I wish I had a sort of a list of the sort of things that we invest in, but in every community, or just about every community and area of the country, there are individuals who want to work with young people to make sure they don't get into this, to provide alternatives, help them get training, and it's a program that has worked, and we've got complete confidence in it, and this is why we're increasing the funding.
Are you looking for communities to come up with their own solutions that are community specific, or are you proposing something national?
Many times that's exactly what we get. We get communities that come up with ideas, they make application, and we're only too happy to work with them. Sometimes it's provincial governments, sometimes they're private groups, so we're flexible in the sense that if you're in the business of trying to help out young people, we want to help you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Right. A lot of law and order. Sitting there.
Minister, could you list the accomplishments of your government thus far on land claims? You say everyone's working very hard. Could you tell us exactly what the accomplishments are?
Well, I'm sure you've seen a number of the proposals with respect to land claim settlement, the residential school settlement. I think we've had a pretty good record with respect to Aboriginal Canadians, and let's say my colleague Chuck Straw is I think he's an outstanding individual with a very good understanding of some of the challenges, but you can't do everything in 2 years, and
well, that's an awful long time though to be negotiating and not have any progress. So I guess what I'm asking then is, do we have any real progress thus far, Minister?
I think you have. I think if you have a look closely at where we've been on this, the directions we want to move, I think you'll be happy.
Thank you, sir.